Hey guys, what is going on? So today I have a video that pretty much everyone has been doing lately, so it's kind of copy and paste, but fuck it, I really want to do it because it's a fun video to make. So it's 13 Stone Cold Black Metal Classics, or a dozen or some shit like that. I can't remember where it originated. I think some YouTubers, like the first few people who did it, like Ground Zero Salem, Marty Worm, and like I saw some people like that do it, and then later on I saw like White X Him and Count Blagrath. And like pretty much everyone has done this, and everyone has said that everyone and their mother has done this. So, but fuck it, I wanted to do it. I'm not gonna leave links to any videos because it should be pretty fucking easy to find because literally everyone has done this. So, I only have actually like 4 records to show off, just because I haven't been into black metal for an extremely long time. Although I do know, like, I know about black metal obviously, so I know enough to make this video. But there's a lot of black metal albums I love that I just don't own yet. But the first album that I would like to talk about is from my favorite black metal band, and I actually have 2 albums from them on this list, and it's kind of generic for this to be my favorite because they're arguably the most popular black metal band, but Mayhem with Live and Leipzig. Personally, it's really tough to choose my favorite Mayhem release between Death Crush, which I don't currently own, this, and De Mysteriis Dom Satanas, because I don't know, like, if you choose De Mysteriis, then you're leaving out Dead's vocals and all the great riffs on Death Crush. But if you choose Death Crush, you're also missing Death's vocals, and then all the great lyrics off of frickin' De Mysteriis. I mean riffs. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm really the fuck. I'm really like sick right now, and I'm home from school, so yeah. But anyways, but in my opinion, this is like the best mix of like the Death Crush material and the De Mysteriis Dom Satanas material. It's a great live album, and it's probably my favorite live album of all time. But this is the Peaceville reissue. I've shown this off before, not too long ago, in a vinyl update, but it's pretty awesome, so, yeah. Alright, and then, of course, the other album I chose for Mayhem, just because this one is also just as much of a classic, if not more, De Mysteriis Dom Satanas. Everyone knows this album. Some people don't like it because of Attila's vocals, and I think Attila's vocals are fucking killer. He's my second favorite Mayhem vocalist, my first being Dead, of course, because he's just a fucking legend. I really like his vocal style. But this is a Back on Black reissue. Not really anything special about it. But classic album. So many amazing songs on here, like Funeral Fog, and of course everyone knows Freezing Moon. And that's just a godly song. Pagan Fears is really good. I also really like the title track. It's just a masterpiece of an album. I really like the production. The guitar tone is really good, and the drums sound awesome, and so do the vocals. And it's just really good. I don't have much else to say. It's an absolute classic. And if you're into black metal, this is one of those albums that you like need to listen to as soon as you're getting into black metal, because it's just so damn good. Alright, so Mayhem may be my favorite black metal band, but my favorite black metal album is not by Mayhem. And this is also cliche for this to be my favorite black metal album, but I'm just being honest, because it is my favorite black metal album. And that's Dark Throne with Transylvanian Hunger. In my opinion, this is their best. A lot of people say Blaze in the Northern Sky. And actually quite a few people say Panzerfaust, which is actually an amazing album. And then there's some people who say Under a Funeral Moon, which is good, but probably my least favorite out of the Unholy Trinity. Not to put that album down, it's great. I just don't like it as much as Transylvanian Hunger or Blaze in the Northern Sky. But I chose this album because it's the first black metal album I ever bought, and I just love every song on here. Very riff-based, very simplistic and minimalistic. I just use the same, like 2 words that mean the same thing to describe something. I don't fucking know what I'm saying. You know, I love iconic songs on here, especially like the title track, which is just amazing, and pretty much Dark Throne's most popular song. Legendary album cover, too. Like, this album is just the definition of black metal. Like, if someone asks you what black metal sounds like, this is one of the things you should show them. It's just a masterpiece. Another one of my favorite songs on here is Scald of Satan's Soul. I know I just mispronounced that, but that one's really good. The last song on here, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, is also amazing. Just every song on here is just golden fucking Norwegian black metal with really raw production. So, yeah, pretty awesome. Alright, next one, and the last record I'm going to be showing before I just talk about albums I don't own, is Burzum's self-titled. I showed this off like a week or 2 ago in a vinyl update because I just got this not long ago, and it's fucking awesome. This is my favorite Burzum album. Honestly, it's kind of like on opinions on what the best Burzum album is, it's kind of divided because some people will say, like most people will say Hibiscus et Taras, which is understandable because that is a very, very good album. That's probably my second favorite, and then a lot of people also say Philosophem, which is probably actually another, like, arguably the most popular because Hibiscus et Taras, in my opinion, is just a little bit more. And there's some people who say Det Song Genge Var, and then I've rarely, if not ever, heard anyone say this is the best Burzum album, but this is my favorite. It's not fully developed, but somehow it still sounds amazing, and it's just really fucking awesome. This is also Back on Black, but it's actually a pretty decent pressing, and it sounds pretty good. Don't have much to say. Just classic. If you're into black metal, you should know Burzum. You know, great album. A lot of classic songs on here, like War, with that iconic intro. The Crying Orc, Feeble Screams from Forests Unknown, My Journey to the Stars. This also has the Ask EP, which is pretty good. So yeah, those are all the records I have to show off. So I know I have a pretty small black metal collection as of now, but anyways, next album I'd like to talk about is Dissection with Storm of the Light's Bane. I also did Storm of the Bane's Light. Golden fucking album. Some people will say it's like melodic death metal, which is understandable because it does have a lot of elements of melodic death metal, but it doesn't have a death metal feel to it, in my opinion. For, like, to me, I get a colder feel from it, which is something that I don't get from a lot of melodic death metal, like bands like you know, like Heartwork era Carcass or At the Gates and shit like that. So that's why I think Dissection is more black metal. But this is just an amazing album. A lot of amazing, beautiful melodies on here. The production is really good. Like it's not like super clean, but it's like clean enough, but it's not quite raw. My favorite song on here, hands down, and it's probably the most popular song from the album, is Where Dead Angels Lie. The melody in that song is just fucking amazing. The guitar work is really good, and it's just a really beautiful song and an amazing album. So Dissection with Storm of the Light's Bane, I definitely need to pick up that album sometime soon. Alright, next one is from another classic band, probably one of the most popular black metal bands, In the Nightside Eclipse by Emperor. Great album. I'm not the big, like, Emperor is a great band, don't get me wrong, but I'm not, like, their biggest fan. Like, they're good, and this is a classic album, but I've just never been interested in them as much as, like, the other classic Norwegian bands. But this is a great album, though, you can't deny that. There's some really great songs on here, like I'm the Black Wizards, and, like, just amazing riffs like that. Really good album cover, too. I wish I had it to show it off, but I plan on picking it up eventually. I don't really have much to say, though. Pioneered, if you want to say symphonic black metal is a thing, then I guess it pioneered that. But it's pretty good. So, just awesome album. Next up, Bathory, Under the Sign of the Black Mark. This is my favorite Bathory album. It's just, in my opinion, it's like where they peaked. A lot of people say that with Bloodfire Death, and then I haven't really listened to very much of anything after that album, to be honest. Like, I've listened to a little bit of Hammerheart, and it was decent, but I don't really care enough to listen to anything after that, which I should. Like, I haven't really committed as much time to Bathory as I, like, should have, but this is an amazing album. So many great songs, like Woman of Dark Desires and Massacre. It's just a killer album, very evil sounding, very aggressive and fast. Raw production, just fucking awesome. Next I've got another first wave album, Celtic Frost with Morbid Tales. This is actually one of the first things I listened to that was considered black or related to black metal. Because, like, the first band I got into that was related to black metal was Death Heaven, but that didn't get me into black metal at all. And that was a long time ago, too. Like, that was, like, about a year ago. And then, Celtic Frost, like, I just liked the really punky kind of riffs, and, like, Into the Crypt of Rays has, like, that, like, D-beat kind of style with the drums. And, I just think it's fucking awesome. It's evil sounding, but also simplistic, which is something that's really cool. It's like Venom, but less cheesy, and I like Venom a lot, but I prefer Celtic Frost just because I think that they do what Venom do better. But I still think Venom is pretty awesome, and I wanted to include them on this list, but I wanted to, there are other albums that I think were more worthy of being on here than that, but yeah. So, Celtic Frost with Morbid Tales, don't have much to say, classic album, classic band, so yeah. Next up, we've got Immortal, Pure Holocaust. One of the first black metal albums I got into when I first got into, like, straight up, like, second wave black metal. Classic album, you know, a lot of great songs, like, Of course, like the sun no longer rises is just amazing. I really like the album cover, and I really need to pick this up. I've been wanting it for a while. I just haven't gotten around to getting it. But it's a great album. I don't have much else to say. It's just classic. Immortal's a little bit cheesy by today's standards, mostly because of a bath, but it's still amazing black metal. Our next, we're taking a big jump in terms of style. The next album is an album that I just kind of chose because it's one of my personal favorites. Although it is still a classic album from a very popular band in black metal, and that's the 10th Sublevel of Suicide by Leviathan. Personally, my favorite album from Leviathan. I think it's fucking awesome. Super raw production, very evil sounding, amazing riffs. It's a little depressive at times, but for the most part, it's kind of straight up black metal. And he experimented in his career later on with other albums, but this is my favorite one. I really like his vocal style. Sometimes he'll make like these weird like moans and shit, but for the most part, it's like straight up black metal vocals. But for the way he does it, I really like. And I don't know, it's just a really killer album. So yeah. And next album is another one of my personal favorites, and that's I had to include a DSBM album on this list just because I really like that subgenre of black metal. And this is my favorite DSBM album, and that's Forgotten Tomb with Songs to Leave. This is a fucking amazing album. Some people will say that Forgotten Tomb's best album is Springtime Depression, and that is a very good album. But in my opinion, this one is a little bit darker and more depressing, while that one is a lot more atmospheric. But this is just such an easy album to get into, actually. If you're new to black metal, I actually recommend checking out this album because it's easy to get into, and it's not as terrifying as a lot of other DSBM bands, like fucking Silencer. But, it's still very, like, depressing, and it's just amazing. I've listened to this album, like, a lot. I really should get a physical copy of it, but so many great songs. There's only, like, a couple of songs on there, actually, too. I think there's only, like, 4 or 5, but all of them are amazing. But my favorite is easily the first song on there, which is Entombed by Winter. A lot of just raw emotion on there. I really like the vocals. The guitar riffs are super melancholic sounding, and it's actually a nice album to just, like, lay down and, like, chill out to. Which sounds weird because it's fucking black metal, but it's DSBM, so it's a little bit slower. But there are some fast parts on the album, but I don't know what else to say. It's just an amazing album, and definitely check it out if you have not. Next one is another personal favorite of mine, but it's also a classic, and that is Bergtat by Over. Much brighter album than fucking Forgotten Tomb. It's an atmospheric black metal album, I guess you could say, and it's amazing. This summer, I was actually, like, last summer, I was just on a kick for this album, and I was listening to it nonstop. It's amazing. Like, I really like the acoustic passageways on this album, and a lot of people say that their third album, I forgot what it's called, but that one's also really good. And Over has changed a lot over time, and even some of their newer stuff I think is actually pretty good, even though it's certainly not black metal. But Bergtat is their masterpiece in my opinion. It's super epic sounding, and it's very dreamlike sounding as well, which is something that I really like. I used to listen to this album before I would go to sleep sometimes, actually. And it's just so good. It brings back a lot of good memories from this summer, even though that wasn't that long ago. But I fucking love it. So, Over with Bergtat. And I also really like the clean vocals on the album. They're also very good. And just really entertaining and epic sounding. It's like, it sounds like something that you'd hear like in the background while like fucking Lord of the Rings is going on or something. Last album I'd like to talk about is the only like war metal album I include on this list, or I guess you could call it black and death metal. But I'd say it's more of a pioneering war metal album, and that's Blasphemy with Fallen Angel of Doom. War metal I've actually been getting into more lately, like, you know, shit like Revenge, Black Witchery, Archgoat, and stuff like that. But I feel like Blasphemy did it best, and they pioneered that style a lot with this album. You can barely hear the guitar riffs the way the production is, but I actually don't mind, and what you can hear is really fucking awesome. The vocals are super disgusting sounding and awesome. Like, it sounds like he's throwing up. It reminds me a lot of, like, early Carcass, in a good way, which is pretty awesome. The drumming is pretty chaotic sounding. It sounds like, I think Ground Zero Salem said this in one of his videos when he was shooting off the album. He said, like, it sounds like a village is being bombed, and that's, like, the best way to describe this album. Like, if you just want sheer raw or fucking brutality, listen to this album, because it will kick your ass, and it's just awesome. And it's super evil sounding, and I also plan on picking that up. Like, a lot of these albums I need to get. So, that's it for my list. I hope you guys enjoyed. If there are any albums that you, are pissed that I didn't put on this list, good for you. I don't feel like fucking, apologizing for that, because these are just a lot of my personal favorites, as well as just albums that I think are downright classics, and, you know, just get the respect that they deserve, or get the respect that they deserve, but some of them, deserve more respect. Like the Forgotten Tomb one, for example. But anyways, I don't know, but I had a lot of fun making this video, and it was just pretty fun, and, yeah, I can't think of anything else to say. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, though. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and all that shit, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.